Hello guys, welcome. I'm BigBraden, and we're trying something a bit new. I haven't had as much time to make some content recently, so one of the things I want to try to do, which we did a bit of a few months ago, is commentary tracks, but not everyone that did them before always has the time to do them. So now it'll mainly be just me, but I'll do a commentary track, and then I'll give you like a little I guess summary of what I thought of the movie afterwards. I'm probably gonna record a few of these back to back, so I'm not sure which one will get posted first, but this is the first one I'm recording. I thought might as well start with Avengers Infinity War, since it's one of my favorites and I know quite a bit about the comic books, so hopefully I'll have enough to talk about throughout the whole thing. So without further ado, I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and I will press the start button on my Blu-ray player, and we will get this shit started since it's like a 2.5 hour movie. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. We get the fancier Marvel logo. I think this is the first movie they showed that in. Kenneth Branagh, I think his name is. He directed the first Thor, who's doing this voiceover. That's the word I'm looking for. And he was also, so he directed the first Thor, and he was in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets as Gilroy Lockhart. So that's a fun little joke they put in there. I'm actually going to turn this down a little bit for myself too, because this is really fucking loud. Some nice spaceships there. I like how they do, you should see the feet first, and that looks really, like, because the whole character is CG, not just his face, so that's some pretty good CG. But you don't know it's CG at first. There's a lot of things in this movie that'll probably surprise you that they're CG. Good old Loki. So if you, I would assume that if you're watching this, you've probably seen all the movies. But if you haven't, this picks up after Thor, where all of his people are going to Earth, and Thanos has attacked them. Though if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna warn you, I might accidentally spoil something before it actually happens in the movie if I'm talking. So you should probably go watch it first before watching this. We have Mr. Josh Brolin playing Thanos, which is great. We see here he has the Power Stone. I trip over a bit whenever I say stone because I'm used to the comics where they call them gems, but well, they did in the original story. I think they've changed it to stones more recently. But also, I wish I knew who did the score off the top of my head, because there's some sick music in this. I'm actually gonna turn down my mic a little bit because I'm peaking it. There's the Tesseract, which is the Space Stone or has a space stone in it. Bitch, did you not watch the first Thor movie? I like that we get this fight scene right off the bat because everyone's expecting, Thanos to be this huge galactic threat. So you put him against, the strongest Avenger, debatably, and see him get his, ass kicked. And there's, a lot of debates on why the Hulk doesn't show up later. Wow, that didn't do much to my audio at all. Haha. I'll probably have to edit it later. Okay. Um, cause him and Banner are having problems with the whole movie, and I personally think he's a little bit scared shitless of Thanos after this, considering very few people can beat the Hulk 1-on-1. He didn't even use the gauntlet there. That was just brute strength. Gotta reference, Thor the Dark World because so many people watch that. Ba, 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 ba. Maybe turn my mic down to about there. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Now I'm not peaking the audio every time I talk. I'll have to turn down that first section. There goes Heimdall, which is unfortunate because he's kind of wasted in the Thor movies. It's Corvus, as well as Ebony, Black Dwarf, I can't remember what they call him in the movie, and Proxima Midnight, who are the Black Order. Who are like Thanos' boys. Look at the detail on that arm when he goes to break that. You can see all those veins pop out and everything. It's beautiful. Someone spent a lot of time on this. Oh yeah. Four more to go. Two on Earth and two. Let's see. Vision and Doctor Strange have the stones on Earth. The Collector has the Reality Stone, and the Soul Stone up to this point has been unknown. Ah. Undying, eh? That CG right there is really impressive because um, you have to have the actor move with the CG character, and obviously the CG character is not there. So to make that not look janky is very impressive. Though these movies are filled with very impressive CG for the most part. There's one try here. I'll have to bring it up when we see the shot. It's not that far into the movie. There was a special effects dude that worked on the movie that was saying how it was all CGI, and it blew my mind. It's the end of Loki for now. And time to get out of there. Also, for any comic book fans that were confused about the gauntlet in this, I've read and watched quite a bit about these movies, and he was saying how because of how powerful the Infinity Gauntlet is, they don't want him basically just to use one stone and destroy all the Avengers. So he added in that you have to close your fist to use the glove, which comes into play in one of the fights so that they can last longer in the fight. But that's not a thing in the comics. He can just wave his hand around and basically just thinking it happens. Now we see what Heimdall died for is to send the Hulk all the way back to Earth. Some nice shots of, New York. That's a I like too that nobody up to this point knows who Thanos is because he's been in the background for the last few movies. Oh, since Avengers 1. However many movies are between this and Avengers 1. I'd guess about 10. Good old Tony Stank. I like how much thought we're putting into these movies. I won't spoil it in this because I know there'll be people who haven't seen it. But Endgame paid a lot of attention to previous movies' lines where they will remember that, Tony said this on this day and they will bring it back up and make it relevant again. And it's great. They also said they intentionally made Tony Stark's technology in this one basically magic so that even at his peak Iron Man, he would have a very difficult time against Thanos. First time Doctor Strange is interacting with anybody outside a solo movie, basically. First time we've seen, or Tony's seen Bruce since Age of Ultron, which was about 4 years before this movie. Here's our exposition section on the Infinity Stones. We've already got this in Guardians. I don't think they explained each stone, but we were told that there's 6. It would be very difficult making this movie, trying to figure out, how to use each stone without just completely wiping out a character too. Which is ironic since he made the Avengers, which is the only thing standing in his way. That's a comic thing, but I know almost nothing about Doctor Strange in the comics, unfortunately. Spooderman and a few of the big arcs is my specialty. And random ass knowledge. I want a world where we have superhero named ice cream. Two of the most, biggest egos in the Marvel Universe. Oh boy. And obviously Hulk doesn't understand the significance of that after Civil War. I don't know, did the Beatles fight in an airport after they broke up? I think they do a good job too of, you know, because they're not all together to fight Thanos either in this movie, that it gives them a lot less of a chance. Good old flip phone. Bet you there's someone that's tried to call that number before. They also do a very good job in this movie of the heroes don't get a break because Thanos is coming and he's not stopping for anybody. So I think this movie maybe takes place like a day and a half. And nobody gets a chance to break after the exposition gets out. I like Tony's sweater a lot too. I think that looks cool. We get some chaos from a street level, which is cool. None of the Avengers have really done that too much. Hmm. They also recreated a New York street on one of the back lots at Universal, and I think it looks pretty good. There's some CG. I think after those cars that are there, they just put up a big blue screen, if I remember right. Oh, and this is my favorite of the superheroes, Spider Man. And Tom Holland, who is an absolute god at playing Spider Man. Oh, yeah. There's the good old Stan Lee, rest in peace. That's a pretty cool looking shot. I want to know how they did that. I haven't seen anything on that, but could you imagine being a first responder on an alien attack? There's Obsidian, I think his name. He's Black Dwarf in the comics. I think he's Obsidian in this. And Ebony Maw, though I don't think they really ever say their names. Doctor Strange's face there was beautiful. Yeah, boy. So, oh no, it's not quite yet, but this is when we first see Banner and the Hulk having problems. Do I ever get what I want comes from the first Avengers movie, that line, which is good. Okay, so this upcoming scene, from the second that Tony starts touching his sweater, this whole scene is CG. Like those hands and his face were CG in that shot, which is beautiful. Get his epic suit now, which is too cool. Good old nanotech excuse. Mm-hmm. Also, I don't believe it's been a while since I read the Infinity series, but I do not believe Ebony Maw is a wizard in the comics. I think they did that so that Doctor Strange had like a counter. Mm-hmm. Oh, cut down some trees. I believe they filmed this in an actual park, but I don't know anything about the geography of New York, so I cannot tell you which one it is. Get some Spooderman here, which is great. Yep. This scene's pretty cool. I like this. Mm-hmm. Got a nice Raiders reference there. So they got him all prepared so that he can't use the time stone there. It's nice. I think I would assume that they know quite a bit about the stones, so the good old cape saving him. There goes Spider-Man. Ooh, just saved him from that one. See, like, even though that they're all fighting here, like, they're not really doing much against them. They're just kind of surviving. Like, miracle play by Wong. Spider-Man climbing up the spaceship that looks pretty sick. I like this scene a lot here when he's climbing it. And it's just a sick shot. He's not worried at all, though. Just get the iron spider suit, which just looks amazing. And Spider-Man with his crazy tech. I'm surprised he can take a call, from outside the atmosphere. He has to, Pepper, come on. He doesn't have a choice. Spider-Man's still holding on there. There's the flip phone just laying there. His glasses are probably sitting there somewhere too. Good call to make. Boom, boom, boom. I like too, they were saying they put space as a title card because people were making fun of them in Civil War for the mass amount of title cards. I think that's a good meme. Ba, 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 ba. Good old Guardians. For the Rebel Man. Ba, 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 ba. Maybe. Also, it's been about 4 years from when Guardians takes place. So they're a bit different than they were then. Aim Groot. So in this entire movie, like none of the Guardians are actually on Earth, which I thought was interesting, since you know, Star Lord left Earth when he was younger and hasn't gone back. Get it off. This is a man. Mm-hmm. Drax is great. Mm-hmm. I like that. Like Chris Hemsworth just didn't want to wear a wig anymore, so they just cut his hair short. Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy. They have to keep teasing her. Mm-hmm. I love what they did with Thor and Ragnarok in this. Mm-hmm. I need a hammer, not a spoon. Oh man. The the big dick competition starts now. The God Man. Mm-hmm. Not anymore. I'm surprised they didn't show anything from Xandar because they could have introduced Nova that way. Mm-hmm. Of course you would. The rabbit. I like that he just doesn't even try to pronounce it. Yeah, boy. Fortunately, the Thor, Groot, and Rocket storyline is like the weakest one in this movie. And they're gone. Now, 40 minutes in almost, and we're still introducing characters. Here's Scarlet Witch and Vision. One sec. There, sorry I had to pause for a sec, so this might not be lined up as well, but it should be fine. How nice. Here, I will. I'm at 3640 right now. 45 now, but in case it's too out of sync. Mm-hmm. One day. They made this a lot more interesting than in the last movies. Tony Stark is missing. We will deep fry your kebab. The old surprise attack. Again, they don't get really a chance to do anything. They're just attacked before they're ready. And now one of the stronger characters in the movie is weak. He can still do some stuff, but he's not going to be as strong as he would be normally. Except for you want to like snap away half the universe, and then there's a chance she might not live from that. To eat her. Oof. Not in great shape. Superhero landing. In the director's thing, he talks about how he wanted to add more background to the Black Order, but there just wasn't enough time in the movie. Sick. Sick opening for Captain America, who now has a beard. With his group of the Avengers. I don't think they ever officially give them a name. You guys got this. And I believe those two are married in the comics. Bum bum. Poor Steve, losing his weapon as well. Thank you, Captain. I got it. They do a good job at transitioning between all the stories, though. That's good. Because now we get a flashback to young Gamora. Reference back to Avengers 1 where they have the Chitauri working for them. She did. Start of Thanos' madness as a bad adoptive dad. The thing looks like he probably eats dinner with that, how tiny it is to him. He doesn't make her watch that. That's the least I can say about what he does. And she still hasn't. I like the purple light that's on her face. What? You're not wrong. Because this is the Infinity War. Somebody has to die, Quill. Come on. So you know it's serious. It's okay. Me in the movie theaters. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Have a nice amount of comedy in this that balance the tension of how big the stakes are. Nowhere. Looks like you're in the middle of nowhere. Ba-na. So I wonder what happened to the Collector after this movie. If we're gonna see him again or not. If they have Benicio del Toro playing him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, come on. Oh no. shit. I think that one looks a little bit funny when they picks him up, but it's for a quick second, so it's not that bad. Right there. They do a good job too as he gets a stone, uses it right away so we understand what it does. No. And that's the end of the movie right here. 50 minutes in. Obviously, I'm joking, but he's already got the reality stone. See, because now we don't really know what happened to the collector, so if he's dead or what. It's whatever I want it to be. And get some nice references to the comics. That shit. Nutsack of a chin. This is a very good scene as well. I enjoyed the scene a lot. It's very tense. Dude, he can go and fight dinosaurs and shit too. Don't you be mocking Chris. Sadness. All tense and then it's for nothing. And we're back to Captain America's group. There we go. Just move the mic a little bit closer to me. Hey, look who it is. Badass Cap here. Gives 0 fucks. I just lied to him. I just realized too that Bruce is wearing the clothes that Doctor Strange was at the beginning, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Yep. Like Scarlet Witch's powers. Only you can prevent forest fires. Yep. Maybe. Wakanda forever. I can't do the voice, I'm sorry. Wakanda. Wakanda forever. And there's Winter Soldier. You know, almost an hour in, still introducing characters. And back to the, Space Boys. It'd be a lot of judgment. Yeah. Good old Spider-Man. I love me some Spider-Man. I like that joke. And then they just straight up aliens them. There's the extra arms. A little bit of a Superman floating through space reference. I would assume that's what it's a reference to anyway. Oof. He's great. I actually think in this movie they'd probably stand a better chance if they went back to Wakanda and was helping everyone there. Okay. He's just like, ah, hell yeah. Where are they at, though? Thanos' big ship, I don't know what it's called. Or if they even give it a name. This bitch empty. Yeet. Me too. I like that when she tells him she hates the chair, he just sits on the steps then instead. It's a good character thing that kind of gets overseen. We get some backstory on why Thanos thinks this. He's a he's a well-wrote villain. I am disappointed. Bum bum bum. And guess what? We still have another character to introduce into the movie. Nebula. I want one of these gauntlets. It looks so good. Oh my. Don't tell her. So, like, had no one ever been to Vormir before? Because it's just kind of left open there for people to just come by and, walk up and grab. I am Groot. I'm sure. Yeah, stuff is like probably the most boring part of the movie. I don't mind it before they get to Nevenavir or however you say it. Once they get there, it just kind of slows down a lot. That can be annoying. Died 3 times now. Tremendous motivators. Never fought me twice. And what if you're wrong? I could use a lot. It's another stupid eyeball. Oh boy. Some nice CG pieces here where they're like floating in space. Nidavellir, that's what it is. Nidavellir. I couldn't remember what they actually called it. Maybe a little bit. Yep. I am Groot. Oh, and here we got big boy Peter Dinklage. It's a great question. Oh, fam. They were good at subverting expectations if you're a casual fan. Because you're going to think that he's going to get the weapon. And they're all going to be doomed until he gets the weapon and kills the bad guy. The real question though is how does he get out of that? And here we go. This is kind of cool how they have to try to land it. Yeah, they broke the ship. And here we are on Titan, home of Thanos. The Titan stuff in this movie is like my favorite. This is a decent fight scene too. Hooray! See Guardians and Iron Man and all that fight, which is pretty cool. Everyone wanted to see that. Look at him go. So many people laughed hysterically at that. He's off doing stuff with Peter Dinklage. Don't worry about it. Making Stormbreaker. Hit him with a brick. Which, this and a few other details leads me to believe that Beta Ray Bill might be introduced in Guardians 3. Because he is the proper owner of Stormbreaker. In the comic books, at least. Back to Titan. Tony's face here is just so great. Mr. Lord. Oh. Yeah, man. No CGI needed. This is just actually, Benadryl cucumber fields. Just remember, guys, Doctor Strange saw Endgame 1600 or 16,405 times and never spoiled it. Be like Doctor Strange. This is a pretty cool looking planet, though. I like the design of it. Welcome. See, I don't get why it says daughter of her. Why doesn't it say her, like, actual dad's name? I want to see Captain America come to Vormir, because I just want to see his reaction to the Red Skull. The directors talked about in a special features thing how they basically had this thing where they've been trying to figure out how to introduce Red Skull back into the MCU since they started working on Winter Soldier. Because they did Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Yeah, boy. That echo, though. No. This scene's a little bit much for me, but that she doesn't realize this. Yep. Takes her a little bit long to realize this, which I think is kind of silly, but I cannot do it again. Rip Gamora. It's when she's like, oh shit. Fucking huck her off there. Boom, boom. more cool special effects, which this movie is full of. Like half of this movie is just actually just animated. It's full CG. That's a nice shot too, where you're looking down and it looks like a different place. I like that a lot. That water's probably the worst effect in the movie, but you know. He's got 4 stones now, only the 2 to go. Dude, Wakanda in the Olympics would be terrifying. We don't do that here. Good old Bucky. I like how much smarter Shuri is than a lot of people. And back to the assault. Yep. That effect was cool. How the trees brushed away. Yeah, vision. And get this man a shield. Yeah, but he's like a god, bro. You got this. You got this, Thor. I believe. Boy. Peter Dinklage sounds like he's trying to be Kratos, but like not as deep of a voice. Whoa. That's a really pretty shot. Give him Bruce the Hulkbuster armor so he can do something. Mm-hmm. Where did they get the Hulkbuster armor from? Like, did they just walk up into Tony's place and take it? Oh boy. I was hoping that at some point in the movie, because Cap in the comics has shields like that there in his arms, but he can put them together as one shield. I was kind of hoping for that. But here comes the Outriders, also known as Space Dogs. Which is great. I Bombay. I Bombay. Literally killing themselves to try to break through the portal. Only a few get in. When Bucky has like a cool vibranium metal arm and they just reduce him to shooting in the background. It's a bit rough. One of the really good things about this movie is that they do really good at having the characters act like the characters. Like, even though these guys have never made a Guardians movie, the Guardians still act like the Guardians should. Cap acts how he should. Iron Man acts how he should. All of them. Thor's a little bit more serious than Ragnarok, but he's pretty good. Oh boy. Wakanda forever. There we go. Get to see the athleticism of both Black Panther and Steve. That's a pretty sick moment there. So watching them run together. All the space dogs. See how much more brutal Captain America is after the few years. Oh boy. Oh. You did a really good job at sounding confused there. Talk about some endurance. Nice. And Thor's not feeling so great. Luckily, though, Asgardian weapons have healing factors, so. Finally, we get Groot to actually do something. Because he's kind of just been in the background this entire movie. Yeah, Groot. How many movies can you have where a character cuts off his arm to make a weapon and have it be like a heroic moment like this? Not many. Oh. Look at them all go. It's like a tower defense game. I have to show everyone who's getting overrun now. Somehow got through the force field. Don't worry about it. Boom. Boom, boom. Hell yeah. Time for my favorite action sequence. In this movie. I think the endgame final fight definitely beats it, so. Your mind. Yep. Mm-hmm. It was. Yeah. I wonder why. Gotta reference that snap again. Yes. R. And here it kicks off. Man, even Netflix has, like, I'm watching it on Blu-ray, but when I watched this on Netflix when they first added it, it couldn't even keep up with the bit rate there for the bats. Making platforms for them, which is pretty dank. I love it. Doctor Strange realized it. No, not Peter. It's a lot of explosions. Oh, she yeeted. And here's Nebula to join the fight. There's the... Oh god, what are they called? Crimson Rods? Crimson something. They're a Doctor Strange thing I don't know much about, but it's a thing that's important. Sleep. Get that glove off. Apparently this whole section was improv'd by Chris Pratt, according to the directors and writers. Because they need a reason for Thanos to get out of this. They improv'd and then they wrote the rest of the scene around it, which is cool. I like how angry Tony sounds there too. That was a really good line by RDJ. People got genuinely mad at Star-Lord on the internet for this. Literally gets it off to where only his fingers were left. And from here on, everything looks pretty grim. I like this a lot. It yeets the moon at them. It goes back to Wakanda things. Apparently that's a big moment that I don't remember from the comics. I haven't read Infinity in like 4 or 5 years though, so I might have to go back and read that. But that's the one that mainly has the Black Order in it. Nice. And here we have crazy giant things. I can't imagine their guns are doing that much against spaceship stuff. I like how they planned that out too. Said she's not up there to defend them. Her first little fight scene, really. At least in this movie, I don't think she has one in Black Panther. Oof. Bum bum. The girl fight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy. He does have a metal hand. I never actually cared to look at the hand situation. Boom. Right through the force field. Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's one point in the script where this was the first appearance by Captain America in the movie. Which sounds insane, but. Mm-hmm. You got this, Cap. Back to Titan. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. We get the Doctor Strange and Thanos face off. Oh, meow meow. All the butterflies. It's like one of the only times they really use the Soul Stone. Just why they don't use it in this scene. It's Iron Man's last stand here. This is the part I like a lot. Mm. Like you can tell how hard Iron Man's trying here, and it's basically for nothing. Showing how little it matters, basically, what he's doing. I was like, I had convinced myself when this movie was out and I was in theaters that Tony was gonna die in this scene. He's definitely injured. Quite bad, but I hope they remember you. I like that line a lot too. So obviously, when looking into the future, something changed because he said that he wouldn't trade the stone for anybody's life. I like the look he gives him there, just kind of like, you for real? Yep. There's also apparently a version of the script where they all went back to Earth and fought with in Wakanda, or fought in Wakanda with them, which would have been interesting. But it would have been difficult to explain, I think. He's coming. I think by this point, probably a lot of casuals realized that this wasn't going to end the way they thought they would. Yeah, yeah. Bum bum. Do it. Yep. You got this. And gun ain't gonna do anything, Buck. See, I've seen some people complain too about how Captain America holds the gauntlet back. But like when you look at Thanos' face, it obviously looks like he's just screwing with him, kinda letting him do whatever. Because he moves his hand away like that easily. And there's Scarlet Witch, who was like insanely powerful. Who was holding off Thanos and breaking the stone at once. Really showing how powerful she is. Yeah. No time at all. If they hadn't given him the time stone, he wouldn't have been able to do that. Rip Vision. Fourth main character to die. Hank. Yep. 4. Look how powerful this axe is, though. Oh. And he snapped. And goes into the Soul Stone. Well, soul-wise, anyway. I would assume he's still there in Wakanda. It's a pretty cool looking place, though. Everything. Look how screwed up that gauntlet looks now. It's lucky he gave him the axe back there, too. It's the reactions in theaters at this scene. Because nobody knew how they were gonna go. Black Panther's gone. Groot. Scarlet Witch. Falcon. And you're like, oh wait, there's still a bunch of people here. They intentionally put like no music in the background either. It's the moment where he realizes it's his fault. Oh no. I couldn't believe the scene when I was watching in theaters either. I was like, no, they started making good Spider-Man movies. Why are they killing him? What the heck? I want somebody when Endgame comes out on Blu-ray to edit Infinity War and Endgame into one movie and see how well they can make it flow. It's just a single movie. And he finally gets to rest. And that is the end of the movie. I am not going to comment on the post-credit scene just because it's not really that important. It just shows Nick Fury dusting away. But yeah, I really like this movie. It's my second favorite Marvel movie, with the first being Endgame. I just like it. Unless you're a comic book fan, the expectations is that the Avengers are going to win, and they do not win. They lose. Pretty badly, in fact. And it's more of a Thanos story because it starts and ends with Thanos, and it's his hero journey that they're going on, not so much anyone else's, and that's a very good way to incorporate all the heroes into it. Giving them all about as equal screen time as you can. All the action scenes are great. The CG is great. All the characters are done phenomenally. Specifically, Robert Downey Jr., amazing. Chris Evans, amazing. I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I hope he never stops being Spider-Man. And yeah, I'll definitely do this for Endgame once the Blu-ray releases. I'm recording this on the 17th of, what month is it? July. Don't pretend like I didn't say that. 17th of July, and it comes out August 13th on Blu-ray. But I might snag a digital copy because I think it comes out digital on the 30th. But I'm getting the special Steelbook edition of Endgame on the 13th when it comes out. The 4K Blu-ray Steelbook, and it has signatures inside and all this extra crap that makes it look really cool. So anyway, guys, if you hopefully on episodes where it's ones I haven't seen the movie, I can talk a little bit more about it at the end, but I've seen this, I've talked about it a lot. If you've shown up in my stream, you've probably heard me talk about it a lot. Yeah, so if you enjoy this, I'm going to hopefully post after this one goes up one a week. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, get that YouTube algorithm going. I opened up a Letterboxd account, which I will link below in the description. Basically, it just goes on and I can rate the movies out of... I forgot they did that, where they made the title disappear at the end. Okay, sorry, I thought they might have said something. Anyway, Letterboxd, which basically just lets me rate movies, and I can write a description about it. There's lists on there. I have a list for all the MCU movies. I'm going to do one on the DC movies, but I have not actually seen them all yet. So maybe I'll do a marathon of those for this. I've only seen Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Justice League, and Wonder Woman. So I'm missing Aquaman and Shazam in there. And go over there, follow me there. There's other movies on there. I think I have ranking for Star Wars on there as well right now. And I did the Fox Marvel movies as well ranked, though that's something I might have to go back to because I haven't seen a lot of those movies in a while. But anyway, thank you guys so much. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.